Hello, welcome to Module 2 of the Psychonauts Handbook. This is going to be a psychosomatic exercise that was created by a fellow named Alfred Mendel many years ago. You're going to need a few things to follow along to do this process, this exercise with me. You're going to need somewhere where you can have some privacy, where you'll be, let's say, by yourself for the next 45 minutes to an hour or something like that. You'll also need three things ideally. You'll need a piece of paper, blank on both sides, something to draw and color with, whether it be crayons, markers, pencils, even highlighters, probably at least 5 different colors. And then, because this is a process that is usually done in a setting with somebody in the therapist role and somebody going through the process, then it would be beneficial for you to have some way to record your voice. Towards the end of the process, I'm going to ask some questions and you'll give me the answers. And because you'll be in the moment at that point, it'll be useful to be able to say it out loud and then to have that recorded on some media. So whether it be if you're watching this on a computer, perhaps you can use your cell phone to record that, or use some kind of a voice recorder, or somebody else, let's say a roommate or a family member's phone, just to record your voice. That's it. You ready? Let's begin. I'll start with an introduction, give the general layout of how this works, and then some specific instructions. I'll guide you through the whole process, and then at the end, we'll have a brief discussion. So, to begin with, Alfred Mendel posited that perhaps we exist on 3 different realms. That I have basically 3 different segments to myself, as do you. This bottom segment, this baseline realm, is what he called the consensus level reality. So that means that you and I agree that this is a t-shirt, these are shorts. That's our operating system, our conditioning. Then the middle level is the dream level reality. These are things like dreams, intuition, signs, coincidences. And then the uppermost level, that's the spirit level reality. And so that's the big I. That is the part of us that, if we do indeed live multiple lifetimes, that's that part of us that kind of perseveres, that is the mothership transcending these different lifetimes. It's the wise part of ourselves that knows why we're here, what we're here to learn. It knows that we're not just here to suffer, that there are certain things that we will appreciate at the end of our lives, and that, perhaps all this stuff that we're going through is going to make us wiser, is going to help us see the world in a more truthful perspective. And so this big I, what he does is he or she keeps us on track by sending us messages through the dream level reality. Things like dreams and intuition, and just the reason why we wake up in the morning and do the things we do, why we like the music that we like, dress the way that we do. And so the idea then is, when it comes to illness, when it comes to symptoms, difficulties in life, those are actually perhaps our resources. That if we do manifest our reality, if we are in control to some respect, that the big I realizes that if we're not getting the picture, if we don't get the message, the signals that are supposed to reach us from the dream level reality, well, then we get ill. We get sick, so that we don't go too far off course. It's a course correction is what it is. And so the idea is that all of these different symptoms, these illnesses, these challenges that we have in life, if they were to come together, they would have some common purpose. They would be leading us in some direction. There's something that, more than other things, that we're here to appreciate, to learn in life. And so what we're going to do today is, in a very simple manner, get some insight into why we do have that specific combination of illness or dis-ease or just general challenges in life. So, if you have somewhere to sit, or if you have something hard to write on, that would be ideal. But let us begin. The way we're going to do this specifically is, you're going to take that piece of paper, and on the top side, on the first side, you're going to draw an image of your body. It doesn't matter exactly what it looks like. It doesn't have to be a work of art. We're not going to judge that image itself at all. We're going to use it to locate different symptoms, different challenges where they appear in our body. We're going to use it to locate those on our body. So go ahead now, using the colors, using your paper, obviously, draw the image of your body. It could be a stick figure, could be beautifully drawn, obviously, if you have the skill. But take a few minutes and draw an image of yourself. I'm talking your hair right down to your feet. I trust you've gotten an idea and it's coming along well. An idea of what we're doing here. So continue to draw with the detail that you need to. Not too much detail. You should be pretty much done now of getting ready to finish up drawing this image of yourself. And this purpose, the purpose of this image is, as I said, to locate and to specifically identify where on your body different challenges or symptoms show up. And so the easy part to begin with is those physical symptoms. If you have something like back pain, go ahead and draw on your body, on that image of your body, where that back pain is. Whether it looks like an X to you, whether it looks like some wavy lines or a circle, whatever color, go ahead and draw that on your body. Start with whatever physical symptoms you might have, be it headaches, you have a knee that you've injured skiing, whether you're sensitive and you've gone out, too early in the season and gotten a suntan, whatever it is, whatever ailments are currently active for you, things that cause you dis-ease in your physical body, go ahead and mark those. And perhaps it'd be a good idea too to write down a word or two, let's say back problems, and then draw some kind of a connection between where that symptom shows up and what you would call that symptom. And do that for all the different physical symptoms that you have. Go ahead and mark down on this image of yourself that you've drawn where those things show up, perhaps what they look like, and then you can think of identifying them too. That's good. Keep going. As long as you have other things that are real for you, other symptoms, other things that cause you discomfort, things that are an issue that on some level you realize are not just there because they're there just to give you a hard time. Those symptoms, those difficulties on the physical level, allow them to become a collection that is clearly identified on this image of yourself. And then when you've done so, and you've pretty much have an accurate composite image of the different physical challenges or ailments that you encounter in your life, go ahead and think of the ones that are not physical. I'm talking about any kind of challenges, be they money problems or problems with colleagues or superiors at work, problems with family members, any kind of difficulty with people, with situations in life. When those come up for you, as you identify them, allow yourself perhaps to, or close your eyes and then ask yourself, where in my body does this reside? One example would be perhaps somebody says they feel they lack focus in their life. Well, they close their eyes and then think of, that shows up in my eyes. My eyes are where the focus resides. So Go ahead and do that for all the different levels of ailments, of symptoms, of difficulties, of challenges, areas of challenges in your life. Allow yourself a couple minutes to sink into your body and to identify where each of those resides in your body, and then mark them on that paper, on that image of yourself. Whatever they might be, whatever challenges, whatever best things that you know could perhaps go a little smoother if you just got the point. All of those things that might actually be gifts, that in my experience do end up being gifts. They end up being allies. If we really get to the point behind there, but allow all those different difficulties, the challenges in your life, find out where they reside in your body, and then mark that down on the image of yourself. A couple words to summarize it. And to be honest, here in my experience, I've done this with dozens and dozens of people. Most people probably come up with, 3 to 6 different physical symptoms, and then another, 3 to 4 other symptoms. So don't feel too special if your list is long. And then once you've allowed these different areas of friction, of challenge in your life to become present, you allow them to locate themselves in your body, and written that down on the paper. I'd like you to take a minute and imagine that all of these different symptoms, these different challenges, are in fact different pieces of a puzzle. And they, in fact, fit together like puzzle pieces to become an energy. To become some kind of an energy with a direction, with a meaning, with some kind of an entity that is unique, that is completely unique only to you. So perhaps close your eyes, sink into your body for a second, and then when you open your eyes again and you look at those different places on your body, allow them to come together like pieces of a puzzle, and allow them to assume an energy. The truth is, they already have an energy. They already have certain characteristic to them. A unique flavor, if you will. So allow those to become an energy. Start thinking about things like color, texture, temperature, weight. And then when you've connected with this energy, go ahead and turn that piece of paper over, and then use whatever you're using to draw with to draw that energy. Ask yourself questions like, what are the boundaries shaped like? Is it smooth or is it jagged? Is it flowing or is it still? What's the temperature of this energy? What's the color of this energy? Is this energy dense or is it light? Would it feel heavy or would it have a lightness to it if you were to hold it? What does it make you feel like? What are the characteristics? Continue drawing that energy until you have a complete image of what it represents to you, what that energy is of all those symptoms, those challenges that you drew on that image of yourself on the other side of the piece of paper. Use color, indicate temperature, consistency. Think of dynamic versus static. Think of loose versus tight. What's the smell of that energy? What's the sound of that energy? Allow yourself to capture it and draw it on that piece of paper right there in front of you. Continue allowing that metaphor, that energy, the feeling, the presence of that energy to build. Allow it to be expressed on the paper. And then when you feel complete, when you feel as if you've fully allowed that energy to reveal itself to you, to reveal its characteristics, its nature to you, we will enter into the last phase of this exercise. This is the fun part. This is the insight. And so the way we're going to do this is, in a moment, now would be a good time to turn that voice recorder on. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to put that piece of paper with the energy drawn on it somewhere close to you in your vicinity, be it on the floor next to you, on the chair next to you, whatever it is, somewhere close to you, but that is not where you are sitting right now. And then I'm going to ask you to go and stand or sit on top of that image of the energy. You're going to literally go and occupy that space on top of the paper where the image of the energy is drawn. And the point of that is you're going to enter this new configuration for a few moments. You're going to allow yourself to embody that energy. And you're going to allow the person that is you, that came in here thinking the thoughts this morning and wanting to do this exercise, whatever that is, you're going to allow that person, the thoughts, to sit there where it was drawing. And then you're going to go here on top of this image of the energy, and you're going to become that energy. So go ahead now and find a place for that piece of paper right around you somewhere. Put it down, and then either sit on top of it, lie on top of it, or stand on top of that piece of paper. And then take a moment, close your eyes, and allow yourself to become that energy. The point is for you to embody that energy so you can fully experience it. So take a moment and think about you. Picture yourself sitting there where you just were, where you were when you drew the image of yourself and the symptoms, and then when you flipped over the paper and then drew the energy. That you is still sitting there. And you're now here as this energy that's coming off of this piece of paper. Now it might feel heavy. It might feel like unpleasant or discomfort when you start embodying this energy. And rightfully so, because this energy represents things that are not pleasant in your life. But the truth is that at the core, at the very essence of this energy, there is a good feeling. And it is your task now to relax and to open up, to allow this energy to build and to reveal its true essence, its true intention to you. So close your eyes and feel it building. Feel your whole body taking the shape, the feeling of that energy. And if you struggle, if it still feels heavy, imagine that by some miracle, that in the worst of your struggles, this heavy, dense energy that doesn't feel good, whatever needs to happen, but by some miracle, the clouds part and the sun shines through. That miracle has now occurred. And below all that heaviness, below all that unpleasantness is this entity, is this energy, and it's specifically yours. And you aren't here living this life just to suffer. That is a truth, that there is meaning, there are lessons contained in your hardships. Allow them to reveal themselves to you. And as you start feeling good, as you start feeling the gift of this energy, simply be that. Simply allow it to unfold. And then from this place, I will ask you a few questions, simple questions. From this place of feeling good, of connecting with the good essence that is at the core of your hardships. What's the best part about being in this state? Go ahead and answer that out loud so you can record your voice. What's the best part about being in this state, being in this place? How do you feel? What's the best thing? What's the highlight? What's this especially unique goodness that you're experiencing right now? Tell me what that is. And then the next question is, if you could live here in this place, if you could stay here in this special, unique energy, what would you do with your life? What would you spend your hours doing? What would you wake up in the morning and spend your life doing? The third question. From this place, how would you deal with other people? It could very well be, and hopefully it is the case, that some of the answers to these questions are, I'm already doing it. I'm already doing what I want to do with my life. That's a wonderful answer to get. Could also be the same thing with how you would relate to people. You could say, I'm already doing it. I'm out there helping the people. But that is an important question to consider one way or another. It's important confirmation, or it's going to be important insight if you answer that question from this place, this connected, this energy. How would you deal with other people in your life? Good. I have one last question for you. And that is, from this energy, from this place, what advice do you have for yourself? That person sitting over there on the chair. What advice, what one piece of information would help them the most in their day-to-day life? What one piece of insight can you give them that is most likely invaluable? What advice does this energy have for you? How can this perspective be the most useful for you right now? If there's anything else, now is a good time to mention it. If there's any other insights, any other things you're feeling that are present for you right now, go ahead and say them out loud. But this marks the end of our exercise. And so I'll give you a moment to perhaps end the recording. And then I'll give a brief discussion about essentially what just happened was that hopefully you were able to identify the hardships, the challenges, the illnesses that are in your life, that are in your experience. And you're able to identify why they were happening, what they were guiding you towards or leading you towards or away from, and why they continue to happen. The point here is that we are in charge of what happens to us. And the things that are there as boundaries to us to keep us on course are our allies. They are our teammates. And I hope that today you were able to see that some of the things that make you the most uncomfortable in your life are the exact things that want you to spend your days doing your most favorite things. It is indeed a truth that the things that are most uncomfortable to you are also those that are pushing you to deal in the best way with the people that you care about. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to experience this, and you don't have to take my word or anybody else's word for it. I encourage you to review the answers to those questions. And I was told the first time I saw this exercise and I partook in it personally that if you want six packs, you got to do crunches. Or you got to do whatever the right appropriate exercise is for the abs. And so if you want to practice having a healthy perspective and seeing your symptoms for the benevolent friends that they are, it would help to keep that paper, that energy somehow present in your life. Whether take a picture of it or whether you put it on your mirror at home, whatever it is, the more you take a look at it and you remind yourself that in fact my challenges are my allies, the more they will in fact become that. Thank you very much for joining me.